So, boom, this is OBS. This video is to help you sleuths and goots out there to use this program. I really like it, find it really useful. It can be tricky though, so that's why I'm making this video. The way I'm going to set up my OBS, the way I have mine set up, is for performance for OBS specifically. What I mean by that, I mean that I have my OBS set up to where it will use as much power as it needs before the game does, so that there's no frame drops, blurriness, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start off with the settings over here in the bottom right, and we can come back to like more of the tips and stuff with like what I have my sources set up, maybe some like tricks you can guys do. Tricks you can... words. I'm just going to start off with the settings over here, and we'll go from there. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the comments, let me know what's up. So first things first is your general settings. This stuff, don't mess with any of this except for your theme. Do put that in dark, because you have it in default. You're going to blind everyone you love and yourself. So go ahead and change that over. Next thing up is your stream. This, I assume you're going to use Twitch if you're going to stream. This is where you'll go and enter in your stream key. If you want to figure out how to get that, just Google that. It's really simple. This is your output page. This is definitely the most, I think, most complicated page to work with, but if you just copy my settings and then come back later on, once you've tried it out, you can go up from there or down from there based on your performance of your system. So on the output page, first things first, I gotta stop saying that. You're going to go to your output mode and throw that in advanced. Simple will work usually, but advanced is going to give us the options we need to adjust. So go ahead and make sure you clicked onto the streaming tab, and also make sure you clicked onto audio track 1. What that's going to do for you here is, well, OBS, one of its better, benefits of OBS is multi-channel audio recording, and what that means is that later on, if you record, you can come back and you can edit each individual audio channel on its own, like your microphone, your friend's chat, their own game audio, all individually. Makes it really useful. When you're streaming though, you want to make sure that all those channels are going to channel 1 so that your stream can hear all your music and game sound and chat. Your encoder, I really recommend throwing that on NVENC. It just works a bit better if you have an NVIDIA graphics card than the 264. That one uses a bit more CPU, which you really don't want. Your rescale output, go ahead and put that in 720 for now. So with any of the settings I tell you, if for the time being, throw them into what I give you, and then later on, if you go to stream or go to record and you see that it's taking up too much power or you think you can go up more, you can adjust that later on. So go ahead and leave your rate control in CBR. That just means constant bitrate. I don't know the whole point behind it, but leave it on that. Your bitrate, for now, go ahead and throw that in 2500. That streams 720, 30 FPS just fine. If you have better internet and you want to try to go higher, just try this first, see how it reacts, and then go up from there. This is where you'll come back to and up your bitrate to make it look nicer. The other two things on this page that you're going to adjust will be your preset and your profile. Throw your preset on high quality and throw your profile on high. This is just another thing that will ensure that OBS is getting its best quality possible. If you find that OBS is taking up too much power, you can maybe consider lowering this a bit, but like I said, throw the settings to what I give you for now and come back later on if you have issues, or comment, I can try to help you out. Make sure to click apply anytime you do any of your options, otherwise they will not stay. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to our recording tab. So go ahead and leave your type in standard, and then right here is your recording path. This is where you can set up if you have a spot specifically you want your videos to go other than the default location. Me, I have mine set up on a separate drive, an external hard drive of 1 terabyte. If you have the money for that, it's like 60 bucks. I really advise it if you're going to be recording on a frequent basis, as the file format we're going to use, MP4, which is the better one, takes up a lot of space. I think it says on the text right there. Like I just said, go ahead and throw your recording format into MP4. This next part here is audio track. So like I mentioned earlier with the streaming, and this one you are able to set up how many audio channels you want to actually use in your video. To use 3, because 2 is normal. 2 is your microphone and your computer's sound, as in chat and in game sound. There's a weird little setup that I have. It involves a Blue Yeti mic. If you have one of those, then stick around to the end of the video and I'll explain that some more. You can actually have 3 audio channels. But for now, pick what you're going to use. Most of you will be just 1 and 2. So you'll click those for now and then move on from there. So this next thing here is your encoder. Like earlier, use the NVENC one. It just found that it works better than 264, the regular 264. Your rescale output, go ahead and just leave that in whatever your default output's going to be, as in 1080 or whatever it is, 1600 by 900, that kind of stuff. You don't really need to mess with that in recording. It's not that big of a deal to record your natural monitor's resolution, as in it won't take up that much power. So it's definitely worth doing it. As with the streaming tab, go ahead and leave your rate control in CBR, constant bitrate. And this time your bitrate, this is the one, like I said before, you can come back later on, you can adjust this based on your computer's performance with OBS, as I'm going to give it to you. So for 1080p, which I record, 1080p, 30 frames, 1500 is solid enough that it will record everything I want, and OBS will not have crashes for having an overload in the CPU. Start here. If you find you can go higher, do that. If you find it's too much, maybe consider lowering your recording resolution down to 720 and going from there. You can actually look up bit rates online.
15,000.
The median minimum for 1080p 30 frames per second recording. So like before, throw your preset and your profile into high quality and high to assure that your OBS is going to use all the power it needs to get you your best recording possible. So now we're on to the audio tab. This one is pretty straightforward. We're just going to set all of the audio bit rates they're going to use, all the tracks you're going to use, into audio bitrate 320. This will ensure that you have the best possible audio recording from your microphone and your game sound and stuff, and so it's not sounding like a radio from 1920s. So this is your main audio tab. This is where you're going to set up like what mics you're going to use, what's going to be your audio output device, that kind of stuff. The first thing you're going to see up there is your sample rate. Your sample rate is just the frequency that your mic uses. If you want to find that out, you can go down here to the bottom right to recording devices, go down to the mic that you use, right click on that, go to properties, and then go to advanced. And in here you can see the number right there, which is 44100, which is just 44.1 imaginary 00. So there you go. So go ahead and throw your channel into stereo if it's not there already. Desktop audio device, I leave mine on default. You can actually just choose whatever it is headphones you want to use. It's not a huge deal. Desktop audio device 2, this is where I come back into talking about the multiple audio channels. If you have a mic like a Blue Yeti, which I have here, that has an audio jack on the back of the microphone, you can actually set up that audio jack as a separate audio channel. So what I do is I actually have my regular game sound playing through my normal headphones from my computer, and then I set up all of my chat to come through the Blue Yeti microphone, which I wear a pair of headphones to hear. That enables me to not only ignore this part and picking crap up, that allows me to not only adjust the volume of my chat on the fly with the knob here, but the best part of that is I can have all of my chat audio in its own audio stream, so later on, if I record, I can enable so that later on, if I record, I can adjust that as need be individually away from my own microphone and the game sound. If that's not an option for you, just leave that audio device 2 on disabled. So your mic audio device is pretty straightforward. Just choose the mic that you're going to use. Like I said, I have a Blue Yeti here, so that's what's chosen there. Next up here is our video tab in the settings menu. This one is pretty straightforward. Your base canvas resolution should just be the resolution of your monitor, so whatever that is, mine's 1080. Your output scale resolution, this is actually where we come into what you're going to actually record out or stream out. I leave mine on 1080 because if I'm going to record, it's going to be in 1080. If I'm going to stream, I actually have my own downscale in the streaming tab, in the output tab. So you can leave that on the same. If you find again later on that maybe you want to try lowering it down to 720 entirely just because of your computer's performance, you can do that. If you do decide to downscale that to like 720, make sure your downscale filter is on Landströms. Totally pronounced it correctly. You want to ensure that if you are downscaling, you're getting the best performance possible. You're in the best quality possible. And again, I leave my frames on 30 frames per second right now. Go ahead and start there. If you find out later you can go up more, do that. You just want to make sure that your OBS is not crashing or overloading. This is hotkeys. I really don't fool around with this. I've tried. I can't get it to work. So if you have any more luck, go for it. Or maybe try to find another video who can help you, because I am not the person to do that. So this is your advanced tab. In here, you're really only going to talk about two parts here. The first thing is your process priority. Go ahead and throw that in above normal. You have an option to go up to high if you want to. So again, later you can come back through here and you can adjust this on your own if it's not good enough or if it's taking too much power. I'll leave mine on above normal. Just so I can get that median ground. I want to make sure the OBS has as much power as it needs without destroying other processes like my games and stuff. So the next thing on this page in the advanced tab is the automatically reconnect down here. This is just saying that if your stream goes offline or you lose internet connection, it'll try to reconnect as soon as it can. I'll leave mine enabled. It's not a huge deal. If that's something you're not comfortable with, you can disable that, but it's not, again, not a big deal. So if you want to leave that on, it's completely fine. So that's the main barrage of the settings there. I'm going to go into more of the other stuff with scenes and sources and the mixer and stuff over here, and some tips to help you guys have a better quality stream or recording. So if you glance over here while I'm putting the mouse at, zoom in. You have your scenes. These are just your presets for how you want to record. I have 3. One for recording here, and that simply just makes it zoom out. And that simply just makes it a full black screen. This is just my game capture only. When I'm recording, I generally don't have a face cam, but I can change that if I like to. Alright, so next part here is the Twitch one. You've already been seeing this one right here. This one has things like my my plugin that I have for my donations and stuff. My stream overlay up here is just a photo. Face cam background, another picture. Game stream, the game recording for streaming, and then Luigi. He's my background for my stream. The first thing here is my Streamlabs. This is just simply a plugin I have that will show my donations, subscribers, stuff like that. Alex, make sure to blur that out right there. Don't let them see that. That's very important. It's called Streamlabs. If you're interested in that, you can actually go to their website, streamlabs.com, and you can go there, and they have instructions on how to get this on your own. What you'll do when you get your what's the word? Your plugin URL from that website, you go over here and you go to add a source, and you want to add a browser source. And you'll actually go in there, and that's where you'll put in your own custom URL right there. So my stream overlay and my facecam background are pretty much just pictures that I have. They have transparent backgrounds, and it's pretty simple to do that. You just go to add a image, and then you choose the image right here to browse and go through your photos that you have, and that's where you can set up your backgrounds. That is the same thing with the facecam background as well. Setting up a facecam is pretty straightforward. You just go down here to the plus button and you go to add a video capture device. Once you do that, it'll bring you to a screen like this, and you can go in and choose the device that you want to use. So if you noticed here, I do have 2 different game captures. I have one for streaming and I have one for recording. So the reason I have 2 is that my one for recording is just a basic game capture. Oh, my face is gone again. It's a basic game capture. The one I have for the stream is what you do is you go to here, add game capture, or you can add display capture, window capture, whatever works for you. And once you get that, you can go and choose either any full screen application or specific window. I advise keeping yours on specific window, as full screen application doesn't always work. But you'll get to the screen, and then once you have a game open, you can go here and the game will be available to choose, and from there you can actually see your capture on the screen. One thing I am going to mention, this is not a problem for everyone, but a problem with my stream is it comes out kind of dark when it actually reaches Twitch. There's a way to fix that though. If this is the whole reason I have 2 different captures, because my one for my stream is actually altered. If you right click on that and go to filters, you can go up here and add some stuff, whole bunch of stuff. I actually add a color correction, so I increase the gamma and the brightness a little bit on that, just to make sure that my game capture comes out bright enough for my people to see it. My people so my people to see it. And Luigi, like the stream overlay and the facecam background, is just another picture I chose. So in your sources page, the order in which you have your sources put in there is the order of which they're going to be shown onto your output here. Streamlabs is on the very top, and Luigi is on the very bottom. That's how that works. This is my Twitch away screen. It's just missing a webcam, and it says BRB, so if I have to leave somewhere, I don't leave a webcam up the whole time, and people know that I'm coming right back. So this here is your mixer tab, your advanced audio properties. This is where you're going to set up where your audio channels are actually going to. If you're going to stream, be sure to click on any audio channel you're going to use. Make sure you click on that to 1. That'll ensure that all your stuff is being sent to audio channel 1, which is being sent to your stream. If you're going to record though, what you want to do is make sure that your audio channels are set up into their own individual channels as much as you can. For me, I have the 3 separate audio channels because of my Blue Yeti's headphone jack in the back. So what I do, I set microphone to 1, I set desktop audio 2 to 2, and I set desktop audio to number 3. That just ensures that when I'm done and recording and editing, I'll have 3 separate audio channels to mess with individually. That makes editing a breeze. So there's not a much words. So there's not a lot more to tell you here, guys. One of the things I will mention, another little tip here, I advise doing this whether or not you're going to record or stream. No matter what you do, if you have a nice microphone especially, you're going to pick up background noises. What you can actually do to kind of halter that is you can set up a noise gate. How to do that is pretty straightforward. You just come down here into this box to the microphone that you're using, which you can see right there, it's green and it's flying everywhere. And you click on the cogwheel and you click on filters. What you do here, you go to add and you add a noise gate. That's my noise gate right there. This is actually the default noise gate, so I didn't adjust anything here, and it works amazing for recording and streaming, so that if I get really hot, I can throw a fan on and no one will necessarily hear the fan unless I speak. I do not advise, before I go any further, I don't advise having a fan on if you're going to stream or record, just because the extra background noise is still, it hampers the quality. So if you look down here in the bottom right corner, you'll notice some of the stats that'll pop up when you're recording or streaming or just sitting idle. If you look down here, idly my computer uses 1% of the CPU to have OBS up. When I'm recording, it goes up a little bit. Be sure to keep an eye on this page when you do start recording, so that if there's a potential overload, it'll tell you in the bottom left corner or the bottom right corner, CPU overload. In that case, you want to come back here and adjust some settings and lower some settings. Maybe try 720p and just work with it from what I give you from here to try to make it best for your individual rig. Alright guys, that's pretty much all I have for you here. If you have any questions, be sure to comment them or whatnot. Or check out my other content. Yeah, what's that thing over there say? Don't listen to that. Listen to me. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.